So this new laptop I have really helped with the hearing and the video and everything.
This is called Warriors of the Past. We're here with First Sergeant Retired Christopher Hewitt and Joe Benson. Joe's on the clap machine. We're just sitting. How he could tell between what he was drinking and what he was spitting into, right? How do you tell the difference there?
Well, one, I have an koozie. The other is not. So that way, even my feeble mind can tell the difference.
And Benson's there on the sound effects. Oh my gosh! So here we are on a Wednesday night, hanging out, trying something. This is part of the master class called Heroes Now. If you'd like to come hang out with us, you're definitely welcome to. Let me know in the chat, and I'll send you the link. As a matter of fact, here we go. Let's see again, right there. Copy. The link is right here, going to be in the chat. So if you want to come on the show, right there, click on the link. It'll let you come. And Benson, man, you're all garbled up, buddy. I can barely see you.
Really, I can see him today.
Oh, you see him good? Okay, good. I'm glad. So, you were telling us, Christopher, that you had told all of your employers one thing when you got the job, right?
Oh yeah.
What was that?
And I even did this in uniform because when I first got there to HRC Knox, they were doing like a big change on the guard. We just got this new sergeant major in. Her name was Tita Cooks. She just fresh out of the academy. She was a 42, which at that time, every sergeant major for each branch, armor, infantry, FA, us, RSOF, all that, all of them were 42 sergeant majors. That way there wasn't no good old boy system or any of that stuff. So, she was doing the thing that she was supposed to do. So individually, she called us in for our first initial counseling and everything. And then she made the fateful mistake of saying, "So, is there anything about you that I should know? That way it can improve our relationship going forward?" And I told her, "Well, the only thing I really want to get across is I'll do anything you ever tell me to do. I'll always do anything the Army tells me to do. But there's one thing I don't do, and that's work on January the 8th. And she was like, "Why is that?" And I said, "Because that's Elvis's birthday." And true to form, every year after that, there would be some way that I did not come to work on January the 8th. And yeah, it involves some chicanery, tomfoolery, skylarkings, and bamboozlement. But even when I was deployed after that in Kuwait and Qatar, I made sure that I did not work on January the 8th. And even today, as a civilian, on January the 8th, I would turn my phone off and everything just to get the point across.
You remind me of a lot of the character that's on Parks and Recreation, right? The office manager, the guy.
Ron
You remind me
Swanson,
of him. Yeah, you remind me of him. Your attitude a little bit.
which is amazing that you say that. Because, and I would go mobile, but I'm on my laptop. But on my wall in my dining area, I actually have the Swanson Pyramid of Greatness.
That's cool, right? That's true. That's such a cool thing. So how does Ron Swanson, how does he inspire you?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things that, a lot of the sayings and everything that he came up with, sort of like, what was it, birthdays. Birthdays were invented by Hallmark just to sell cards. Or, cowardice and weak-willed men. Um, uh, Clear liquor is for rich women on diets, and a lot of those. And I mean, it's just I don't know. I guess you could say he's a man's man.
So are you a man's man?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't go out and hunt and kill what I eat because about the only thing I'll do is fish, and I'm not big into the hunting. I could be. I've just never really done it. Um, but yeah, I'm
Now,
definitely an old.
hang on. You said you won't kill anything, but you'll fish and hunt.
No,
What's that mean?
I'll fish, and I don't know. I have a much better time of fishing than I would hunting. Like,
Yeah.
and even
Oh, I
most of
get
the
it.
time, yeah, most of the time I hardly ever catch anything. Like I said the other day, I'll go fishing with somebody. And I'm like a good luck charm because they'll catch whatever the hell they want, and I don't catch a damn thing.
Oh, you can come with me anytime then.
Oh yeah,
But
right.
You
clothing
can come with me
optional.
anytime. I like to catch fish.
Right. Just as long as clothing is optional.
You did say you sent me a note. You said you would be wearing gender appropriate clothing.
Well, because I mean, I have been known a few times in my life to dress up as a woman, and there was a one time back in 1997 in Austin, Texas. I decided to go out on Sixth Street as a member of the oldest profession, a woman of the night, a member of a den of iniquity, or of ill repute, and I went out as a hooker. And that was the first and last time I ever did that because I did get propositioned a lot of times, and I had a friend of mine do the makeup, and evidently I make a pretty good woman.
So, were you considered like the bearded hooker or what?
Oh no, I didn't have a beard then. I was still in uniform.
Oh, okay.
So,
So
so did,
you don't do that all the time then.
I mean, there's been times where I used to live with a guy named Daniel Parker and Sam Bayless, and I don't know, they would have some women over because I was never really good with the girls and stuff. But one of them one time, I mean, long story short, somehow her dress ended up in the kitchen of where we lived, and I'd had a few too many. And I was like, you know what? Let me try this. So I put this damn dress on, and there's a photo that I have that will never see the light of day, especially if I try to go for political office or whatever, of me in this dress, kissing towards the camera. And it was quite the sight to behold. And, well, I do make a ugly woman.
What? I don't even know what to say about that.
so
Well, I
what?
mean, I'll tell you this, and I mean that leads me into another story. So just to tell you, like the sense of humor that my father Robert Hewitt had, and how cheap I was. But when I was growing up, you know, growing up, you don't have a job, so you don't have no money. But my father would always say, "Hey, I want to make a quick buck," and I would be like, "Okay, what are we gonna do now?" And I mean, he would challenge me to do all these things, like drink a jar of pickle juice or jump off the roof. Well, there was one time we had this one room cabin at Lake Whitney, and we'd had it for years. Like my grandfather, he had built it by hand in like the 50s and 60s, and it was basically like a lake cabin. So there was one time we were out there, and he's like, "Hey, you want to make a quick buck?" And I was like, "All right, what do I got to do?" And evidently, one of my sisters from years ago had left one of her swimsuits there. So he's like, "I'll give you $1 if you put this swimsuit on." and go to the side of the road and act like you're hitchhiking. So I was like, all right. And it was like a bright pink swimsuit, and I tied it behind my neck and everything, and I ran out to the side of the road, and I was sitting there hitchhiking. So yeah, it's not the first time that women's clothing has graced my body.
Good to know.
So
I know
what would have?
you're just getting a whole bargain's worth tonight. We've only been recording 10 minutes, and this is already paid for itself.
I'm telling you.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So we're here with Christopher Hewitt, everybody, the most interesting first sergeant in the world. And he is he's into his second beer, I think, already. And third beer.
Third.
What does your hat say? I can't read it.
It says hookers and blow.
Hookers and blow. Where did that? Oh, I see it. I get it. So I mean, are you the hooker? Or are you the blow?
Well, neither or. And I also have another one that says cocaine and hookers. So interesting story about that. So with my last job, at one point we had to go to Quantitech, which is a contractor company in Huntsville, Alabama. And it was like a 2-day course we had to go to learn about some computer simulation system or whatever. And the woman that was teaching the course, she was real country. I mean, you could tell she was around the Alabama area. And on our first day, we were doing our introductions and everything. And then she was like, yeah, is there anything y'all want to know around here to do? So I said, well, yeah, where's the best place we can go to get some hookers and blow around here? And what I did not realize at the time was there was this female major who was from the program office of the bigwigs of what we had to do. And she just turned around and looked at me. And from that day forward, every time she saw me, she asked me if I ever found any hookers and blow in Huntsville, Alabama, up until the time where I told her, that's kind of run its course. And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I've switched over to opium now. Which reminds me of the first time that we actually took a contracting job and went over to Japan. And they picked us up because we went over to Marine Corps Air Station Iwakuni. And they pride themselves about being the only Marine Corps air station in the world. So we arrive in the terminal, and the woman on the USO bus picks us up, and she takes us around and shows us the installation and everything. And as she's getting ready to drop us off, at our hotel and everything, she's like, yeah, is there any questions y'all want to know about the area and everything? And I was like, yeah, what's the most popular opium den around here? And she just started stuttering and couldn't answer it and everything.
What are you supposed to say to that, I guess? Would you know the nearest opium den?
Well, no, it was my first time being in Japan, so I didn't know, which was ironic because at MCAS Iwakuni, they have this building there, and it's like the central, like where the command staff and whatever it is. But historically, the building that they're housed in, the very top floor, is where they actually pushed out the order for Pearl Harbor. And during my first trip there, the day that we were getting ready to leave was actually December 7th. And it was amazing because I was walking down downtown Iwakuni, Japan, and nobody wanted to make eye contact with me, even though before then everybody kept staring at me. But it's not that often that you get somebody that looks like me with a red beard walking down the street of Japan.
So let me ask you this. So what outfit or costume do you want to wear that you haven't worn yet?
Ooh. Well, let's see. I've dressed up as Elvis, and I've actually officiated a wedding that way. I've of course got my Ric Flair robes. I've dressed up as Hulk Hogan. I would do Stone Cold Steve Austin, but the only bald cap that I have is from the Coneheads, and I don't know. I may do something with Liberace or something. Who knows? I mean, the
Liberace?
possibility. Yeah, Liberace, or the possibilities are endless.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So, have
I've
you
even,
ever?
I've even dressed up as a masked character known as, excuse me, known as the Midnight Rider, and I actually have the mask here. I would put it on, but I can't risk because it puts a lot of pressure on my nose right now. But that would be something for a later time.
I can't wait.
oh, that is hilarious. That is hilarious. So, what is it about like the fantasy wrestling stuff that gets to you? What is it about it that you like so much? Do you know?
So, I mean, there's a couple things, but yet they tie into each other. So it's almost like when you go to the movie theater and you watch some sort of Marvel movie or something like that. It's what's known as called suspending disbelief. Yeah, you know it's not real, but you also get caught up in the emotion of it.
Right.
And much like your favorite show that you could watch, like, I don't know, give me an example of a show. I'll say, okay, let's talk. I don't know why this popped up at the top of my head because I've hardly ever watched it, but Sons of Anarchy or The Sopranos. If you're somebody that's watched it from the beginning all the way to the very end, you get emotionally invested in it. The other side of that is, as far as it comes with my fandom of professional wrestling, you know, for me, it's always been there. And the reason I say that, because the NFL, they work a season and then they're off. Same thing with baseball, basketball, whatever. Wrestling is always there every week. And there's times in my life where, I was going through some challenges, but I knew that for about 2 to 3 hours a night per week, I could put all that stuff in the back burner and actually get involved in it. Now, I'll caveat that by saying that I quit watching modern wrestling back in 2014. And the reason I did that is because I always said that if The Undertaker ever lost at WrestleMania, I would quit watching wrestling. And I never thought that would ever come back to bite me in the ass. But it did in 2014 because Brock Lesnar, oh God, he beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania 30. And The Undertaker at the time was 21-0 at WrestleMania. I know with the look, I was just as shocked as you are.
Right, I can't imagine. And so, what is a man to do?
So now I just either keep up with it online, but I don't watch it. Now, I did break my self-imposed exile this year because I did watch The Undertaker go into the Hall of Fame, and I would say, you know what, with the speech that he gave going to the Hall of Fame, he could make an excellent career being a motivational speaker.
I bet, right? I bet.
Yeah.
I bet. Joe's playing with the clap buttons. He's got access to clap buttons and things. Oh, look who showed up. Look at this. Look at that. Look who's
You
here.
Mr. Cornish.
bitch.
Well.
Look at the shine on that head.
Man, I just got done shaving and I got the shower a little while ago before I go to bed. And I get up early.
Yeah, what were you wearing when you did it?
I sure wasn't wearing a goddamn hooker's outfit for sure.
So, since this is happening right now, I'm going to do y'all a favor, and I'm going to turn the mic over to him because I'm going to put him on the spot so he can tell two stories. And the only thing that I'm going to mention about this is A, the fart in his drill sergeant office, and then two, when we were at Nightmare Range or wherever, and I pulled off my underwear.
Nobody wants to hear that.
Yeah, they do.
Well, you got the one where I think I went out to do a formation when I was a drill sergeant, and he was visiting. I came back in the drill sergeant office, and I swear to God, I almost threw up because he befouled that air so badly while I was gone. That's like, and I worked on a pig farm growing up too, so I mean, I can handle some pretty pungent smells, but I looked at him, I was like, God damn, son, what crawled up your ass and died, because it was the worst fart to this day that I've ever smelled in my life. Then when we were at Nightmare Range, when there was we're doing our gunnery and all that, we didn't have showers up there. I think we did have, it was in the middle of winter, so I think I took one shower, but it's so cold nobody took anything. But
we took a shower and we could see the steam rising off our
bodies. Yeah. So yeah, but that was before we took a shower after you removed your underwear and it looked like a Snickers bar was in there. I was like, what the hell is going on with you? I think you buried it outside.
Oh my gosh. So, Mike, you got to tell me a story about the most interesting first sergeant alive,
Well, I'm not his first time, because I didn't really, we obviously knew each other when he was the first time, but we were never stationed together.
Right.
Well, let me see. Well, there's been not several times. Let me see. You almost dropped me off. Well, when he's telling the stories about wrestling in the barracks, he almost dropped me off the second floor, putting me in a power bomb. The jackknife power bomb, driving to the second floor. But then there's the B-Knock stories where his roommate was drunk as shit, came in there, and that's the first real stunner I've ever seen done on somebody, Stone Cold Stunner. And everybody thought he killed that guy because he was messing with the guy. Was so drunk, he was messing with Chris. And, Chris did a Stone Cold Stunner on him for real and laid his ass out. And that was the end of that. So.
Oh, you're talking about Clifford Guy Madden. Yeah, he kept fucking when he was drunk. And, in B-Knock, they had to go down there, pull CQ and staff duty, and I had to get up in a few hours. I was like, dude, quit fucking with me. And he wouldn't do it, so I had to drop him on that stack of dimes that he called a neck.
Yeah. So that was one just off the top of my head. Obviously, I have thousands and thousands more I'd have to think about for a second. But
oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, there was a time I almost threw young Michael off the balcony when
I just told
he
that.
was trying. Oh, okay. I was thinking a leak.
Yeah, I just told that one.
Oh, there was a time he and I were fucking around in the barracks, and he was very surprised that not only could I move back to my room so quickly.
Oh, you put all the furniture in front of your door.
Yeah, and you never even heard it.
Yeah, so it was in Korea, so I went to go check on him. And the door, and he was coming out of the shower, and literally the door closed, and it must not have been 10 seconds. And he had put all his furniture in front of the door. I couldn't even hear anything. And of course, I'm pushing it open, and when my head came through the door, he swung a damn steel chair at me like we were in a freaking WWE match, and then almost knocked my ass out on that time too. And we're friends.
Yeah, we're friends.
sometimes it's interesting, right? How far you take the play stuff, right? Like you
Who said
sometimes
anybody
you.
was playing?
Oh, Joe, what are you doing, man?
Trying to get comfortable, man. You guys have so many great stories that I just don't know how to act right now.
Well, and it's like
That and my phone's
even though
about to die.
even
I'm
though
not
it's
used to
in
this
good
working off the phone thing.
even though it's in good fun, he and I have made almost a lifetime out busting each other's balls. However, it's something that we've gotten into over the past few years is trying to top each other on gifts to one another.
Oh,
And
Oh
really?
yeah.
I don't know if I'm still on top or if he's still on top because I've actually called in some hookups and everything, and I actually got a couple of his favorite wrestlers to actually
Cameos.
record message
Yeah, did he,
just for him.
I think you're one up. You did Stein. The last one you did was Steiner, so I'm trying to think of something to one up you on that.
But
So,
then
because the one before,
he sent me this title belt.
yeah. So one of you, and he's telling you the story yesterday about our Korean death match. So that was 20 some odd years ago. So, then he won this. Well, that was that physical match. And it was a video game match, but we had wrestled for what we called Patton's, General Patton's belt. So 20 some odd years later, whatever, I actually had a belt made for him, and I sent it to him. Surprised him in the mail with his belt, since he has all these belts he collects. So
I love it. That is awesome. That is
yeah.
that's a cool friendship. I love that. That is so cool. That is so cool. So we're talking about Mike doing a more topical kind of podcast or get together, calling it Heroes Now, that you're a part of, where we bring up and talk about whatever comes to mind. That's different from all the interviews like I've done with you and with Hewitt and Benson. It's been, all big picture, overarching kinds of things. But so it's been fun. We talked about it a little bit and then we went live. And so here we are. So we're having a good time. We're hanging out. We got Kirkendall and, Gabby. I love you, Gabby. You're out there. Denise. I love you, Denise. And Hamilton. Yeah, man. Love you, dude. And we got some folks hanging out with us. So I don't know. That's kind of what we're doing. What else we got cool to talk about?
Those are some of our great moderators back there on that message blog.
Yeah, right.
Kirkendall.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Kurt.
since it's right in front of me and right in front of my face, I mean, let's take a moment and we can either do it silently or we can do it aloud. But let's admire just the fact of how handsome Michael Cornish is. And, I have to give him credit because, as much shit as I give him about not growing his hair back because he used to have a handsome set of hair, but he actually has the head for a bald head, which I couldn't pull off because my shit looks like it could have its own planet or moon orbiting it, or I look like an orange with a toothpick underneath it.
Well, shit, I had to embrace my baldness a long time. It just started fading. I just went with it.
Yeah, but also let's comment on that beard too, because that is an impressive beard.
It's getting there. I'm trying to. Thank you. And, that's
Yeah,
a retired thing. You retire, and since I can't grow my hair out, I
known
can't
as
grow my beard out.
yeah, I'm doing what's known as putting him over.
Yeah, so you can bury me later. Yeah, that's also our for each other, Marshall. When we whoever passes first at the funeral, we make sure we put the other one over. As far as tell great stories and make it sound like he's all the best before you actually tell all the bad shit.
Yeah, although on his end, one of his things is to make sure I'm actually dead and that this isn't some kind of joke because
Elaborate prank.
I am the master of carrying a joke on for 10 to 15 to 20 years much like in it was the second Dumb and Dumber movie where old Jim Carrey as Lloyd is in the freaking wheelchair, and he finally admits that he isn't paralyzed, and he's like, "You had me coming here for 20 years, catheterizing you because you were paralyzed, and you weren't paralyzed." He's like, "Yeah, it was so worth it."
Wow.
Oh, so if you guys could make a movie, if you guys could like be in charge of remaking a new movie where you guys were the stars of it, what movie might it be?
Dallas.
Benson wants to be part of Dallas.
That's a good one.
Love Boat.
Love Boat. The love.
I'm gonna go on a limb and say possibly the Blues Brothers.
Oh, that'd be a good one.
Man, that's a
That'd
good
be
one.
a good. That would be a good one to see you guys do. Yeah, yeah.
That would be fun.
I think he would be Elwood and I would be Joliet Jake, or it could be reversed.
Hey, look what Gabby says. The Duke's a hazard. That'd be great. You guys would be Bo and Luke Duke. Yeah.
That'd be all right.
Woo! Yeah, thanks. Great suggestion, Gabby.
He could.
Yeah.
Well, we can't get
Christopher
Waylon to
could play
narrate
two
it, though.
parts. Christopher could play Daisy Duke and Roscoe Pico.
Yeah,
So,
I want to be Roscoe. I want to be
I have no
Roscoe
issue dressing
Pico
up as a
Trent.
woman.
Yeah, we need to get somebody more attractive than Chris to do that part, man.
Yeah,
Hey, you haven't seen me dressed up as a woman yet, all right?
So obviously, you've learned two things in the past couple of days of interviewing Chris. Is one, he has no filter, and two, well, you don't really know two, but two, you can't embarrass him. That's another thing. He doesn't get embarrassed.
Right.
So
right.
obviously, by a lot of the things that he says and he does and all that, I've tried several times. He doesn't have that, sensory where he gets embarrassed. So he pretty much everything's a go for him.
Oh, I love it.
Well,
I love it.
the only time I really get embarrassed is if I ever get intimate with a female and I take my shirt off, and once my shirt goes off, there's no turning back after that. But then my pants come off, and they're like, "What do you expect to do with that?" And I was like, "I may not be able to hit the bottom or the side, but I can go in deep."
Oh Lord!
My goodness.
Oh my gosh!
Again, no filter.
I tell everybody, if you're ever with me and we're naked, you can point or you can laugh, but you can't point and laugh. That's just cruel. That's just cruel.
Well, and he's going to get embarrassed by me saying this, but well, no, even I gotta
Got the no
pull it
filter.
back a little bit because he is a married man, so I'm not even gonna talk about that. But so I know I've talked about me a lot and everything, but what I'd like Michael to do is talk about Stevie Wonder, and he knows exactly who and what I'm talking about.
Oh Lord! One of my roommates in Fort Hood, actually my main roommate before we left and all that, God, Anthony Towns. He would just get so drunk and he'd just piss everywhere over the damn room. He's one of those guys where he's like still kind of coherent. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing, man?" He's like, "Pissing." on my answering machine. What are you doing? So it's kind of label him the Stevie Wonder piss because that's just bad thing is if he's alone in the room drinking, you come back in, you don't know where it's going to be. So yeah, oh my God. Or that would be the roommate across when I had old Raymond Duda. Like whenever he knew, like if I was having bringing someone back to my barracks, he would put like some really abstract like nudie magazine. He'd be like short fat midgets or something like that. and he'd hide it under my pillow or something like that. So whenever I was being social with someone and the covers come back, what the hell is this? So those are the type of pranks that he would do. So,
Which, that reminds me. So, Will, whenever the other day we talked about how, when the Army values and all that shit started coming out, and they came out with these posters. Well, on one of these posters, and I don't remember which freaking Army value it was about, but there was one of this female soldier, and she was wearing a hard hat, and on the side of her hard hat was the 4ID symbol, which was significant because at the time, Michael and I, we actually was part of a ceremony deactivating 2AD and activating 4ID. It was like a 2 to 4 hour ceremony. It was rough because we had to actually stand there. And
they did a cannon volley for every ribbon, and there was like 200 and something ribbons on that damn guy.
Every
people were falling out left and right.
Yeah, it was bad, but what I'm getting at is yeah. So the female soldier that was on this poster. So there was one night I'd gone out or whatever, and I'd come back to my room, and that same roommate I had, Owens, who threw the other dude off the balcony, I walked in, and we had this real ratty ass old black couch, and there's him and this soldier who's downstairs in the CQ area on the freaking Army values poster going at it like drunk monkeys. And every day after that, I kept wondering what value she was emphasizing during that time.
Loyalty.
Yeah.
Duty. Oh my gosh.
But Mike can definitely testify that when I was a recruiter, I was actually hating life, and I would actually spend more time at his office than I would recruiting. However, so I do have a good recruiting story for you, if you would like to hear it.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Yeah.
So every Monday in recruiting, I would have to spend all damn day on the phone, calling and making appointments and everything. And there was this one Monday where I just couldn't get an appointment to save my life. And one day the first sergeant called down, and he's like, "What you got?" And I'm like, "First sergeant, I've been on the phone about 9 hours today, and I haven't gotten any appointment." And he was like, "All right, so what I want you to do right now is I want you to pack up your laptop and everything, and I want you to go out driving around El Paso to go and try to find people to join the Army." And this was probably about 6, 7 o'clock at night, and I was like, "Well, shit, Raw is about to come on." So I got all pissed off and everything, so I started driving around. And I really didn't want to talk to anybody. So as I was driving up 54, I took the exit, and I noticed that there was a cemetery at the intersection of 54 and I-10. So I went into that cemetery, and I got a bunch of names off the headstones. And the first sergeant called me up. He's like, "Hey, did you get any appointments?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I got 6 of them. It was amazing." So then he came in probably about 2 weeks later. He's like, "All right, so I want to follow up on those appointments you got. How'd it turn out?" And I was like, "Hey, First Sergeant, they're all dead leads."
And you used to call my phone and act like you're doing a contact call or whatever on a voicemail on my phone.
Yeah, I would either call his phone, or if it was a phone number that I knew was a disconnected number, I would call that just to give up the illusion of of trying to make appointments. But like I said before, if there was a low point in my career, it was recruiting, because I was not built to be a recruiter, just because, well, one, I'm the way that I am, and two, if I couldn't get any luck with any girls by just going up and talking to some chick or whatever, then how the hell do you expect me to put somebody in the Army? Although when I graduated recruiting school, they were like, wow, you're so personable and everything. You should have great success in recruiting. Well, let me tell you something else, buddy. It didn't happen that way.
So, why can't you get a girl?
Oh, you put me on the spot. So, you're not going to believe this. So you better just go ahead and just brace yourself, because I've been told that I'm weird. And I mean, I've tried all the different pickup lines. I even tried, there was this one time I went out to this club near Fort Hood and I said, hey, baby, have you ever seen the inside of a real Army barracks? And that didn't work. And then I said, hey, have you ever seen a grown man in Army brown underwear? And that didn't work either.
What's this list you made? You got a couple of lists or something like?
Oh, you're talking about the list of Hewitt? I can even go more into that.
You sure we could save that for another time? That'd be good.
No. This is. I'll even hit different points than I did the last time, because since we have my dear Michael on here, he's actually only on there twice. He hasn't made it a third time yet. He hasn't reached Michael Brown level, but he is actually number 2 on my list. And the reason he's number 2, so number 2, Michael Cornish. Rampant skylarkings, which include, but are not limited to, the War Dog coin. Now, the War Dog coin is the battery coin that people used to get in the damn battery for doing shit. And, not discrediting him or anything, but I did a lot of shit in that damn battery, especially when I was a field sanitation NCO. And this has always been a sore point with him, because I had to go sponsor him for his staff sergeant board. And I recently just graduated from field sanitation school. And on our way over there, I was quizzing him about stuff, because, he and I like to get shit 100% on the first try. That's just the way that we were raised. But the simple fact that I just graduated field sanitation school, and I asked him about 100 questions on field sanitation, and he was like, are you fucking with me?
Totally killing my confidence before I go into the staff sergeant board.
Yep. Let me see. The other thing was the ADA sergeant major coin. So this was when, I want to say it was when Wilbur Adams was the regimental sergeant major. And after I graduated PLDC, he and you son of a bitch. Yeah, it took me until I got a plaque from that unit to get that damn coin. But with the ADA regimental coin, with the ADA regimental coin, after I graduated PLDC, he and I got tasked out to drive the regimental sergeant major around Fort Hood when they were doing this huge warfighter exercise.
No, I had General Costello.
What's that?
I was driving General Costello.
Yeah. So, and I had to drive Sergeant Major Adams, and I had to drive General Cavan.
Yeah.
And
Gavin.
Yeah.
Gavin?
And afterwards, he got this damn regimental coin, even though I was the one driving the regimental sergeant major around Fort Hood. All right. The next one for him is accusing me of hiding the game. And I still bring this up because this was around 99, 2000. He and I were in Korea and we didn't have shit better to do with our lives. And he had a N64, and that's when WrestleMania 2000, the game, came out. And he and I had been waiting for this to come for him in the mail for a long
Lost the
time.
signal.
What's that? Well, he froze up. But anyway, he and I had been waiting for this damn game, and he finally got it. And I'm sitting there in his room, so we're waiting to play it. And this is back when I played video games, even though once I got above 2 buttons, it was too complicated for me. So I'm sitting there waiting, and he's like, "Where's the game?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Where's the damn game?" And I'm like, "I don't fucking know. It's your damn game. What the hell do you want me to say?" So he goes, he flips out. And lo and behold, he kicks me out of his room. So I go to the room, and he thinks I'm screwing with him. When he finally searches everything he owns, gets into his laundry bag, and finds out that he scooped it up with his laundry to put into his laundry bag.
No way.
Although for the longest time he thought that I hid this damn game. Let's see. Oh, and yeah, getting into PLDC before me, because as I told you the other day, it took me 5 times to get into PLDC. And then, yeah, not answering 3 consecutive field sanitation questions. But as far as, some of the things from the list of Hewitt, like number 8, random motorist for cutting me off. Number 11, Optimus Prime for letting Megatron defeat him in Transformers the movie. Let's see, number 18, Johnny Cash, Waylon Jennings, Merle Haggard, and Dusty Rhodes for dying. Number 22, cashier at the shopette, asking me if I want a bag for items too numerous to carry. Number 28, Captain Ellis for unauthorized sitting at my desk. Oh, let me see. Let's see. I already talked. Oh, Lieutenant Colonel Curran Daniel Chidester having his farewell on the same day or evening as my retirement party, thus stealing my thunder. Now, this is a good one right here. So number 43. Inept soldiers that attempted to load the machine gun on the Avenger upside down, then attempted to install the ammo can the wrong way, backwards, and finally upside down on their evaluation. Oh, here's a good one, and this is the last one I'll hit. Well, actually, I'm going to hit 2 of them, but this is a good one. The VA for assigning me to an OBGYN. I possess male genitalia and have never claimed to be a woman.
You weren't wearing female gear or attire at that point, were you?
No.
Oh, so there was no misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in the last one I'll cover, 49, even though there's like 70 people on this list, number 49, inept soldier from 2 weeks ago that got in the turret, looked at the fire extinguisher bracket, and with a straight face asked me if it was the cup holder.
Hey, I've wondered that myself, right? I wondered if that was a cup holder myself. Yeah, I have. So look, it's been a great time hanging out on Heroes Now. I've enjoyed it very much. It's been a fun time. Christopher, Hewitt, Michael Cornish, Joe Benson, Will Marshall. Thank you guys for hanging out. It's been an enjoyable time, right? Signing off, everybody.
Take care. Thanks, Marshall.
Take care, guys.